of 1904, the General Office in Manila prescribed the implementation of standards curriculum consisting of languages that includes reading, writing, spelling, object word and phonetics, arithmetic, geography, citizenship training, and body training. So sa kanila nag-start na dapat marunong tayo magbasa at pagsulat. Of course, wala pa masyado dyan yung understanding kasi hindi na focus. In 1909, General Office increased primary education components of this subject: good manners, GMRC, civics, hygiene and sanitation, home geography, Philippine geography, industrial work. Under this industrial work are included, which are yung mga local na ginagawa ngayon na hanggang ngayon ginagawa pa ng mga Pilipino, usually sa provinces. Now, in education under the Philippine Commonwealth, all schools shall aim to develop moral character, personal discipline, civic conscience, and vocational efficacy, and to teach the studies of citizenship. Now, we have these three basic education levels, where our primary level, which equip the child with fundamental and essential skills, which is, in other terms, the foundation. Kasi kahit na lumalaki na yung bata, kahit napupunta na siya sa intermediate level, sabi ng teacher ko, ginagamit po nila yan. Tapos doon na po nagkakaroon minsan pag hindi alam ng bata, pag napunta na sa intermediate and secondary level na, sinong teacher mo nung last year? Nagkakaroon na po ng tanungan dyan. Next, intermediate level, yung continuation of a higher level of the integration function of education, which are, if I'm not mistaken, these are 4 to 6, grades 4 to 6 po. And lastly, yung for these basic education levels is yung secondary level, which are the now grade 7 to grade 10. It aims to further continue even further and even higher level integration of function of education. Dito, as for now, parang mas tumataas na yung level ng understanding ng mga bata, and of course, tumataas na din yung mga lessons na ibinibigay ng mga teachers para kanilang i-understand, ma-apply nila sa buhay, sa life nila. Now, during education under the Japanese regime, these are the basic 6 principles of Japanese education. First is to make people understand the position of the Philippines as a member of East Asia Co-Prosperity Sphere, to eradicate the old idea of reliance upon Western nation, to endeavor to elevate the morals of the people, giving up overemphasis on materialism, to strive for the diffusion of the Japanese language in the Philippines, and to terminate the use of English in due course. To put importance to the diffusion of elementary education and to the promotion of vocational education. To inspire the people with the spirit to love labor. Nakikita naman po natin dun sa number 4. Parang, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm not sure. But, parang during those times, if dun sa as to my memory na parang binawal po nila yung English language during those times ng Japanese regime. Tama po ba ako? Parang naano yan nung college na sinabi ng isa. Now, important changes in this curriculum during the Japanese occupation are the school calendar become longer, class size increase, up to 60. Now, the Japanese required the teachers and principals to render services on Saturdays. They discarded textbooks or certain portion of them that contain liberal and democratic ideas. And they banned the singing of American songs. Parang pag narinig ka nila na nag-English or even singing, you're gonna be out or whatever. It is very confusing siya. Now, they included the teaching of traditional subjects for elementary, just the same as in the American occupation, but they include, nabago lang pala yung salita, health education and PE, na pasok na nila. And ito, parang bago ito yung character education. And next, at the secondary level, the greater emphasis was on the study of the Japanese language. Kaya, kung papansinin, bawal nga naman yung English. Kasi sila yung, parang lahat na lang gusto tayong sakupin. Gusto nilang gamitin natin kung anong meron sila. Now, schools of thought in CD, curriculum development. It is considered the curriculum as something rigid composed of various subject areas. They are book-centered. Memorization method is used to master facts and skills. Dito sa essentialist, parang most or use siya ng mga mathematicians kasi di ba memorization method is used to master the facts and skills. Bakit? Kasi po, these essentialists are sa mathematicians po, yung mga mathematics major, yung mga nagtuturo ng math, kasi bakit, yung mga formula po, di ba, bihira kasing mabago, actually parang walang plagiarism sa mathematics, especially ang number, pag binago mo, magbabago na agad ng sagot. Di ba po? Kaya, parang more on use sila ng mga math major, kasi memorization method on how to do these formulas. Next is the progressivist, that includes the pragmatists, experimentalists, reconstructionists, and the existentialists. They conceive the curriculum as something flexible based on areas of interest. They are learner-centered. They consider the principle of individual differences. This philosophy aims toward the holistic development of the learner. From the moment na nakita mo yung holistic development of the learner, dito po, sinasabi na yung more on, sabi na nga dito, learner-centered siya. So, yung bata yung gagawa, siya yung sasagot ng sarili niyang problema. Kasi ano ba tayo? Teachers are only, yung sinasabi nga na kahit ng bata ako, kami lang ang kami lang ang nag-enter or nag-enter o nag-aayos ng grades ng mga bata. So, yung bata yung gumagawa ng lahat ng gawain. Okay? Next. These are the dimensions in curriculum development. Philosophical, theological. Nabanggit na po yung essentialism is the essence po. And then yung idealism, which is the preservation of one's freedom, concentration should be on moral, intellectual, and aesthetic development of the learner. Meaning, for idea, from the word idea lang siya, kaya kung paano mo concentrate yung bata. Next is pragmatism, which is the education must be useful to the society. So, mong tumulong, then give. Then somehow, yung progressivism, from the word progress, kailangan natin na mag-progress yung mga bata with their learning. And then, existentialism. Education should enable man to make choices in his life. The teachers teach how, not only the what. So, dito sila sabi how. Paano nga ba ginagawan? Hindi ano yun. Parang, again, sa mathematics. Kasi, very complicated ang mathematics. As for me, this is my opinion only. Now, how? May di ba tinatanong ko paano, what is addition? But however, we cannot let them learn what is addition without learning how to do it. Kasi, ang mga bata, pag hindi nila nakita, hindi nila alam kung paano gawin. Sinabi lang ni teacher yan, addition lang yan eh. Pero kung hindi nila alam, lalo na yung mga complex na gawain, hindi nila magagawa. Kaya dapat pakita natin kung paano ginagawa. Kahit ako po, bilang isang teacher and bilang isang estudyante, hindi ko rin po alam gawin kapag hindi ako nabigyan ng isang example. Kasi more on visual learners ang mga bata po, kahit ako. Visual learner po ako, gusto ko nakikita. Sorry po dun sa noise, may pupukpok po sa kapitbahay. Makarinig po ba?
Yes, ma'am. Kung ginagawa pa yung bahay mo,
Hindi po. Pasensya na po.
Nagasan ka, Ma'am Placido?
Sa Pasig po, Sumilang.
Sumilang.
Apo. Now, reconstructionism, it aims to develop the inherent powers of the learner. So, reconstruction, parang inire-reconstruct mo na yung learning ng bata. Halimbawa, ang alam ng bata na parang ito nakita ko sa Facebook siya, na ang verb ay yung kay, kanina ko halimbawa yung isa sa mga, yung kay Willie de Revillame na tinanong siya what is verb, ang sagot niya ay pandesal. Kung bata yun, pwede pa natin itama. Pwede daw, kahit matanda siya, pwede itama. Kasi bakit? But, ang education, hindi lang siya para sa bata. Pwede yan hanggang matanda. Kasi, hindi naman siya nag-e-end dyan. Kasi nga, kahit tayong mga matatanda na natututo din sa bata. Marami pa rin natututunan. So, nare-reconstruct yung idea na ganito, ganyan. Halimbawa, ako, ito personal experience ko po last time. Hindi ko kasi natutunan na kailangan mag-gentle parenting. Nakatulad sa bata, insight ko lang. Na na-reconstruct yung idea ko na sa mga nababasa ko, sa mga libro, na hindi mo dapat i-force yung bata na magsabi sa'yo ng kung ano yung problema niya. Hayaan mo siya. Nung nare-reconstruct yung idea sa kanila na siguro paglaki nila, maging ganun din na, hindi pala dapat paggalit. Pag ko, maging violent agad ako. Kasi di ba yung usual ng Pilipino, nasasabihin na napapalo agad, pero okay sa akin ang palo. Kasi iba-iba naman ang dating, pero hindi na mamalo ng bata. Kasi mahirap 'yun, mawawalan pa ako ng lisensya. Kasi di ba during those time po, if I'm not mistaken, dati po na pwedeng mamalo, di ba po? Ngayon, hindi na. Very well protected and well sheltered ng mga bata ngayon. Kasi naranasan ko pa, kahit yung mama ko sinasabi nun sa teacher, okay lang po na paluin yung anak ko or pagsabihan pagka-pasaway. Pero ngayon, hindi na pwede yan. Kaya yun, in that example, na-reconstruct na yung dati nating mga paniniwala and experiences. Ganun na ngayon, hindi na katulad dati. Next is yung realism. Education should be based on the actualities of life. Of course, realism. Dapat doon ka sa realidad mag-base. Huwag kang gumawa ng imagination mo palagi. Kasi hindi ka naman masyadong tutulungan ng realism. Dito napapasok, parang related si existentialism tsaka si realism. Kasi parehong experiences mo yung nagtuturo sa iyo Kasi hindi ka lang naman sa four corners ng classroom natututo, kundi sa buhay mismo natututo ka din. Now, dito sa existentialist, it is a philosophical view which may be defined in various ways, but it does not have three basic approaches which characterize the central focuses in this are intellectual and the conscious choice, control of choice. These are through the willed intelligence. Kumbaga parang gut feeling. And then the close interrelationship of means and ends. Yung means and ends, ito yung parang ano ba to? Yung parang hindi mo ma-justify ang ending kung ang means mo ay masama. Kung halimbawa si Robin Hood, ang means niya ay magnakaw ng bigas para matulungan yung mahihirap. Does that justify the means? Kasi nga naman, yung method mo masama So, kumbaga, pinakakain mo yung mga tao, tinutulungan mo yung tao, pero gumawa ka ng masama. It does not justify the means yung end ng means na ginawa mo. Next is these are the main theses of the reconstruction positions. Now, the transformation of society by technological scientific revolution is radical as a require of a new moral and intellectual consensus capable of molding and directing this transformation. Now, it is the task of educators to analyze that social trends to discern the problem society is facing is to speculate on the consequences of the current social dynamics and to project the values and the goals which need to be sought to maintain a democratic way of life dahil we are living in the democratic country. Um, ay, wait lang po. Para pong madidiscuss naman ng ibang team. So, skip ko na siya. Wait lang. Huh? Now, here is, we're going, ay, curriculum development and management of learning na po. So in this part, we're going to talk about principles of new behavior or learning. Now, subjective principles are concerned with what the learner brings to the learning situation and include sub-concept, past experiences, intelligence, motivations, and emotions. So objective principles naman, we deal with factors relevant in learning situations, which includes rates of learning and forgetting, reviewing, rewards, self-rewards, and generalization and discrimination. We have, of course, the special learning technique, which are used to increase learning efficiency and include mass and distributed learning, feedback, and overlapping. In this experimental approach to learning, it focuses on the experiences and reactions of the individuals in the group. Factors of learning are here: concrete experience, reflective observation, and abstract conceptualization, also active experimentation. Now, social dimensions are curriculum for individual development, for social development, and both of them combined. Now, these are the Philippine social realities that affects curriculum. Our curriculum, which is the political independence, overpopulation, growing middle class, different means of communications and transportation. Most of our degree courses are patterned abroad without adequate local study of a basis, which is, yun last po, very ano siya eh, parang sa katulad ng K-12. Bakit ba nagkaroon ng K-12? Kasi we want to pattern to the international standard. Kasi parang ilan na lang yung mga countries na hindi naka K-12. If I'm not mistaken. Guidelines for curriculum development. A good curriculum must encourage inquiry and creativity, be democratic with regard to procedure, accept individual differences, take into consideration and specific solidarity, scholarly findings and methods, minimize memorization, and maximize discovery, take into consideration the potential of achievement through either the individual learner or the group. You must employ teacher resources in multi-dimension roles. Now, can I hear your thoughts about is education for the society or for the individual? Anyone?
Anyone from the group? Will you please participate? So, meron po ba kayong gustong i-share?
Baka po may gusto kayong i-share with this question.
Is education for the society or for the individual? Will you please share your thoughts or your perception about this statement? Please raise your hand. Kung di kayo makapagsalita dyan, ay pwede kayo mag-comment po sa chat box. Napakadali ng tanong. It's very easy to answer. Pag may nag-comment ma'am sa chat box, basahin niyo na lang po.
Sige po. You can share your thoughts po with this, okay? Now, mamaya, dito na po tayo sa principles and theories of the curriculum development. So, the curriculum development is a process that produces a written plan. Yung mga sinabi po natin kanina, it's curere, a plan, a tool, syllables. Now, in the basis of curriculum development, okay, may nagsagot po si Miss Danica. Education is essential for every society and individual. Correct. Ibig sabihin, education is very essential to all po. Walang pinipili. Wala siyang pinipili. Lahat. No matter what your age now, maybe old or young, everything is for education. Okay. Sabi po ni Miss Divina Cagayan, education serves both society and individual. Correct. For me and for everyone, it benefits the society and at the same time improve us personal as for Sir Gatchalian. Tama naman po, correct. Kasi hindi lang naman tayo nag-improve being in the mind, but holistically. With Ma'am Nenita, sabi niya, education trains individual. Opo, tama. And education is not only in the four corners of the classroom or four corners of the laptop, but it's in our life na po. Kumbaga, kadugtong na ng buhay ng mga tao ang pag-aaral. Now, going back to the basis of curriculum development, now we have curriculum design or structure, implementation, and evaluation. Now, first is curriculum design. Education is for all. It provides knowledge and skills that enhance personal development. Sabi po ni Ms. Helen Rabano. Now, going back, that is a good insight. Thank you very much for your insights, mga ma'am and sir. Now, in curriculum design, overall framework which describes interaction and congruent of the four basic elements of curriculum design. Now, ito po yung four elements ng curriculum design, which is the objectives, content, organization, and then evaluation. Now, these elements are the basis for the development of textbooks, syllabi, lesson plans, or learning guide. These different elements are considered silently but interactively in curriculum planning. Now, let us look at this po. Curriculum design models po and approaches to the curriculum design. Of course, subject-centered. Now, ito po. Kung ating makikita, subject-centered approach, it focuses on subject matter. It emphasizes the bits and pieces of information which are detached from life. Yung hindi masyadong connected sa buhay. And then learner-centered, dito na po reconstruct yung base, the needs and interests, purposes, and ability of the learner. Ito po, dito po sa learner-centered curriculum, makikita natin, it is built upon learner knowledge and the learning potentials of every learners. And problem-centered curriculum, it assumes that in the process of living learners experiences problems, thus problem-solving enables the learners to become increasingly able to achieve complete or total development as individuals. Kumbaga, binigyan ka ng mathematics problems and then you were the one to solve with the use of the yung ginamit natin ng mga formulas. And of course, syempre may gut feeling naman tayo and our own mind na ginagamit. So we are bounded and with our decisions in life. Yun yung nag-guide kumbaga sa atin. Now, guidelines and curriculum designs. Our curriculum design committee should involve teacher, parents, administrators, and even students. Schools' vision, mission, goals, and objectives should be reviewed and used as basis in a curriculum design. The needs and the interests of the learners in particular and the society in general should be considered. Alternative curriculum design should be considered advantages and disadvantages in terms of cost, scheduling, class size, facilities, and personnel required. The curriculum design should take into account cognitive, affective, psychomotor skills, and concept of outcomes. On this part, di ba dati po yung exam parang high school po ako noon yung bawat question nilalagyan kung ito ba ay KPL ba yun? Yung knowledge, kung language ba yung question na yon sa mga test paper. Parang every number may nakadikit, may katabi na K or L, mga ganun po. And then yung dito curriculum yung sabi dito it involves teachers, parents, and administration. Parang hindi ko alam dahil bago lang po ako sa teaching. Parang hindi ko masyadong nakita na involve yung parents with the curriculum design na ginagawa ng DepEd. Now,
mostly kasi wala na rin talagang time na tanungin yung mga teachers. Pero as part of the stakeholders, nasa public school ka na ba ngayon, ma'am?
Hindi pa po, Doc.
Okay. At mostly, tinatanong din yung nila, no? Voice of the learners naman sa mga estudyante.
Okay po. Thank you po. Thank you. Now, going back to our topic, these are the 6 features of curriculum. The first, who teaches? Of course, us, the teachers. And of course, here, si Doc. But we are actually doing because we have to be prepared. And now, of course, who teachers teach? Of course, the learners. Kasi, kumbaga, give and take lang po siya. Tama po ba? Si Doc, si teacher, magbibigay ng knowledge. Yung mga bata, tinatanong natin kung may insights ba sila, which natututunan natin kahit ako, kasi of course, sa private, medyo well off yung ibang mga bata, natututo din ako sa kanila ng mga ibang bagay, kahit mga words. Sabi ko, parang hindi ko alam yung words na yan. So, ako napapasearch. O kaya naman may mga hint yung bata minsan na, teacher, what is this? Hindi ka sure, mapapasearch ka kung ano yon. So ako, natuto na din ako.
Yes, ma'am. We learn from them. Most especially yung mga bagong mga terms. Ngayon, magugulat ka na lang na hindi mo alam. Mamaya pinag-uusapan ka na pa nila. So, we also learning from our students nowadays.
Opo, kahit meron isang instance na may yung mga wording na letter na lang. Yung halimbawa, yung limaw, nung nalaman ko yung meaning, sabi ko, akala ko laughing lang yun. Yung pala may meaning pala siya. Tawang-tawa ko nung nalaman ko yung meaning. May mga meaning pala yun. Sabi ko gano'n. Kahit na parang on the 21st century na medyo bata-bata ako, parang hindi ko alam yung meaning na yun. Yung mga TYT. Dati kasi TYT lang, take your time, THH, NX, di ba? Thanks lang. Ngayon po, medyo iba-iba na talaga yung mga meaning ng word. Akala mo yun yung meaning, pero pag tinanong mo sa bata, iba pala yung meaning. Now, what do the teachers teach? Of course, the knowledge, skills, values, understanding. Given na po iyan, na yan ang tinuturo talaga ng mga teachers. And of course, yung values, hindi lang siya values na ito yung mga pang-aral, pero yung pang-aral na magagamit po sa ating mga buhay. Tama po ba? Now, how do teacher teach? We have their strategies and methods, iba-iba. Yung iba, game-based of teaching. Yung iba naman, traditional. Yung iba, walang PowerPoint. Yun, which is the traditional. Now, minsan, technological. Meron pa yung isa yung super interactive nung kanyang class. Now, how much of teaching was learned? performance. Ibig sabihin, may
Going back doon ma'am sa strategies and methods, so no one can teach you kung anong strategy and methods ang gagamitin mo kasi it's your free will or freedom as an educator. We have this academic freedom. But since we are talking about curriculum, as long as we are following what is mandated, kung anong curriculum yung na binibigay ng Department of Education ngayon. So, even in the private school, so though they have their own system, but still, the prescribed competencies needed to teach our students must be strictly followed. Okay, next po ma'am.
Naka-base po talaga din sa DepEd kasi sila talaga magbibigay. And then dito kasi uses strategies and methods kung how mo na lang po siguro ibibigay sa mga bata yung learnings kasi mas since ikaw yung nakakakilala sa bata, di ba po, tama po ba na feeling ko ito ang learning capacity ng bata, ito ang kaya nilang abutin at ito yung way kung paano sila nakakagain ng insights and learnings sa akin. Kaya ako kung minsan po ginigame base ko yung laro, yes, there is an individual differences. Opo, correct. Iba-iba naman ang learning method ng mga bata. No, kahit tayo po, ganun din po. And next is, how much of learning was learned? Performance. In this performance, iba-iba din siya. It can be in the written or it can be oral recitations. Di ba po? Katulad dito, sa observation ko po na parang every after the lesson, may activity sheet sa pinasasagutan po. Am I right? Ganun po. Doon po nakikita kung may natutunan ka ba o wala. Then sa aking special sa lessons, and of course dun sa quiz, sometimes ang quiz pa ay essay type, i-explain mo kung ano ang natutunan mo. And of course number 6, with whom do we teach? Of course the community is based of families, the people, from the very smallest to the biggest part of the community, because everyone here is part of the community. Now, basic elements of curriculum design. Sorry for the noise. These are the objectives, content, organization, and evaluation. Nabanggit na po na yan kanina. Now, these are the dimensions of curriculum design, which is the scope, sequence, continuity, integration, articulation, and balance. Now, let's go to number 2, which is the pilot testing. Phase where the crafted curriculum will be implemented in some classes or school for testing. It will gather, observe data whether the curriculum is useful, relevant, and reliable and valid, will identify deficiencies and operational problem. Now, dito parang pilot testing para kayong parang mga guinea pig. For example, ako po ay first batch ng K-12 curriculum. So, ang dami nagsasabi na parang ginawa lang kaming experience para kaming experiment. Tinatawag, kahit yung mga kabatch ko, experiment lang pala tayo.
Ilang taon ka pala ngayon, ma'am?
25 pa lang po ako.
I see. Akala ko. So, graduate ka anong age, ma'am?
23 po. 23 po.
Kasi may K-12 na. Pero kung walang K-12, baka tapos ka na ng 21. Ganun.
Opo. Na mga ganun po. Tapos, dapat kasama po ako dun sa last batch. Pero since kami yung mga graduate ng first batch of K-12, so parang kami naging pilot testing, experiment na sinasabi ng mga...
Trial and error.
Opo, trial and error. Kumbaga kami ang guinea pig.
Kasi katulad yan, hindi na K-12, K-10 na ngayon, ma'am. Matatag ko.
Opo, kaya marami nagtatanong, kahit ako gulong-gulo, bilang isang estudyante at teacher din po, sabi ko, parang lugi naman kami doon, parang ganon. Pero kung
sana nakakatulong na sa pamilya, nakapagtrabaho na sana.
Di sana 4 years na kami nagtuturo o kaya much better na yung na-scope namin. Tsaka hindi po nung college, sobrang bago nung kahit daw po sa mga professor, bago sa kanila yung K-12 kasi kami yung first batch eh. Di kami yung magsasuffer ng lahat. Kawawa din. Hindi lang yung bata yung kawawa, pati yung mga teachers kasi bago na. Katulad niya yung matatag. Yung matatag curriculum, kawawa na naman yung teacher. Ang tanong, kaya may tanong po palagi na, ready ba ang teachers? Kaya parang laging issue na, parang hindi naman yung mga teacher, parang yung, hindi kino-question yung and pati yung sagot ko last time, kine-question siya na kung bakit ready ba yung teacher, yung school, yung mismong country na pagbibigyan. Ang laki-laki ng budget pero hindi mo makita na may mga trainings talaga for that specific na para sa mga teachers. Kasi bakit? Teachers yung magbibigay sa inyo nung mga lesson eh. So, paano natin ma-assess na ready na yung mga teacher for this curriculum? Parang lagi na lang biglaan. Parang
Actually, ngayon kasi ma'am, sa matatag curriculum, ang goal kasi noon talaga is, di ba sobrang dami kasi ng competencies. Tama ba ako sa mga teachers na nagtuturo? Laging problema ng mga teachers, ang daming competencies, tas ang daming araw na walang pasok, di ba? Tapos ang daming holiday, ganyan, may mga tulad yan, may hit index na naman and everything. So, ngayon sa matatag curriculum, pina-lesson na yung mga competencies. Pero yung mga topics naman, same naman as before. Tapos may mga ready ng instructional materials, may PowerPoint na, may lesson exemplar, activity sheets. It's up to the teachers na lang kung gusto niyang gamitin yon o hindi, or gusto niyang i-enhance o hindi. So, let's see, kasi karamihan ang goal talaga bakit natin binabagong curriculum kasi gusto natin talagang makasabay sa ibang bansa. Diba? Parang ganoon naman sa
Opo. Kasi globally competitive nga daw po.
Yes. Diba? Kaya ngayon matatag, making the curriculum relevant, job ready, di ba? May meaning kasi yung matatag na yan eh. Taking and everything. Sige, ma'am.
Okay. Tapos, with this po, parang yung matatag curriculum ngayon na ipe-present, parang, katulad daw po sa Japanese, if I'm not mistaken, it was mentioned last time nung nag-meeting kami nung directors na parang, i-align siya dun sa Japanese educational system na more on reading, understanding, writing ng mga bata. Lalo na dun sa foundational po, dun sa mga grade 1 to 2. And also, it was mentioned na si Congressman Romulo ang nagsulat, if I'm not mistaken. Yan yung nasabi sa amin last meeting. Next is here, the curriculum monitoring. Determine if the curriculum is still effective and relevant. It is a periodic assessment and adjustment during the tryout or the pilot period. It is like the formative evaluation. It determines how the curriculum is working in the report. Parang dito, kaya yung K-12 binawang K-10 kasi ang sabi ng marami at parang may study daw na hindi successful. Wag na natin lagyan ng masyado. Hindi successful yung mga first batch ng K-12. Parang kaya nagkaroon tayo ng bagong matatag curriculum. Kaya ginawang yung K-12, ginawang K-10. At saka of course, doon mga sentiments ng parent na parang pinahaba lang naman. Parang dagdag gastos. Dito sa K-10, after mo ng K-10, college ka na agad. Kaya ayan po, nagkakaroon tayo ng curriculum monitoring. And also, it provides the decision what would even terminate the program, or what is happening right now, which is na-terminate yung grade 11 and 12. Now, pilot testing, in short, is a developmental process that gives the signal whether the particular curriculum can already be implemented with confidence, which is what happening right now. Magpa-pilot testing na for matatag curriculum. And of course, now, implementation. It is the formal utilization or application of the design curriculum after it was tested. Factors to be considered during the implementation are the roles of the students, teachers, school administrator, curriculum designers, and the implementers. Course materials, it was said to be by Doc Zamora na materials are already ready na, and it is about the teacher kung gusto niya bang baguhin or i-enhance or kung ayaw niyang gamitin at all. Now, it is the schedule. How should the implementation flow? Parang grade 4, tama po ba? Grade 4, 7 yung more on Wait lang.
Sige ma'am, kaya mo ilaban mo yan.
Parang yun sa recent na inattendan ko na sa Rex Education, parang nabanggit na grade 4, grade 7 yung mas focus ata ng matatag curriculum kasi yung sa sa ibang levels hindi pa masyadong na ilalabas yung materials.
Yes ma'am, magsisimula sa grades 1, 4, and 7.
Ayun, 1, 4, and 7. Thank you po, Doc. Next,
Sige, nakikinig ako kay ma'am.
Okay, dynamic change in the education, which is her external influences, social demands. Okay, social demands na wala, gastos lang naman yan, which is from the K-12 curriculum, yung ano natin dati. And then yung nag-research, legal provision, technology, and industry demand. Now, we have here leadership, communications, but ang gulo. Now, we are here na sa triangle, which is change. Ayan, ang curriculum natin. Policy, then next by organization. Wait nga. Wait lang. Ayan. Ayan. Effective leaders should know how to reasonably motivate the stakeholders through effective effective leaders should know this. Of course, number one is reasonably motivate the stakeholders through effective communication, adequately provide the needed training to carry out the plan, which is in public, parang ito po yung mga inset, Then 3, decisively solve problems that may arise in the implementation of the plan. Kumbaga sa thesis, hanapin na ang butas para naman maresolba na kaagad. Kumbaga, kapag nag-isa tayo ng ating ng mga nakaupo sa thesis defense mo, masagot natin yung questions na yon. And carefully monitor as well as evaluate the system to ensure the success of the process. Kasi kailangan without, kumbaga sa nag-aaral ng education, we have to monitor, kumbaga observe the curriculum and how it was going. Kumbaga sa teacher, yung nag-observe teaching, ito yung nag-last teaching demonstration ka, di ba kailangan po na ma-monitor, tignan na natin kung tama yung ginagawa at kung tama ba yung ways kung paano siya nangyayari. Next is the implementation models. We have here overcoming resistance to change, which model or ORC, leadership obstacle course model, linkage model, organization development model, and the run change agent model na ginagamit to implement the new curriculum. Okay, factors to consider in this meron ng kanina. Now we have here types of curriculum. 3 types lang to, which is the intended curriculum. It is the set of objectives set as the beginning of any curriculum plan, which is the answers what the curriculum makers wants to do. Next is the implemented curriculum. It refers to the various learning activities or experiences of students in order to achieve the intended outcomes. And of course, the achieved curriculum, it pertains to the learning outcomes or products, which we are parang, kung nangyari sa K-12 curriculum, ngayon na nagkaroon ng study kung sila ba ay successful at ang K-12 curriculum ba ay successful bilang magamit as a continuous process of learning. Diba po?
Okay, so just like dun sa K-12 curriculum, yung job ready na ba sila pag natapos na yung curriculum na yun, kahit hindi sila mag-college o let's say senior high lang kanilang natapos. So that's pertaining to the learning outcomes or the product or the result itself.
Apo, correct po. Thank you po. And all of these three are being utilized in developing a curriculum. Each type must be congruent with one another. Congruent meaning aligned at kapareho ng bawat isa ng objectives nila. Now, and number 4, curriculum evaluation is a process of obtaining information for the judging the worth of an educational program. Product, procedural, and educational objectives or the potential utility of the alternative approaches designed to attain specific objectives. These are according to Glass and Wordem in 1997. Now, key questions usually asked in evaluating curriculum. This one, are the objectives being addressed? Are the contents presented in the recommended sequence? Are the students being involved in the suggested instructional experiences? Are the students reacting to the contents? Kung lahat ba yan ay na-achieve, because those are the question asked in evaluating the curriculum. Now, we have these strategies that can be used in evaluation. These are the paper and pencil strategy. It can be in the form of essay or select response or multiple choice. Now, number 2, performance-based strategy, which is performance task na very gamit na gamit during the pandemic era, pandemic times. Then, exhibition, demonstration, na more on sa mga final way na ng pag-aaral. And then, itong observational strategy, personal communication strategy, it can be a form of conference, meeting between among teachers, students, or parents. For example, yung conference kapag sa private, conference ka kapag may mga binagsak ka. Bakit? Kailangan ma-defend mo kung bakit mo sila binagsak or nabagsak. And then, of course, yung interview, the form of conversation in which all parties, student, teachers, and parents, increases their knowledge and understanding. Next is oral strategy. Q&A. It can be done to determine if the student understand what is being and has been presented or extend thinking, generate ideas, or solve problems. Kumbaga, ito po yung mga recitation na pwedeng mag-questions arise. Kasi hindi lang naman yung teachers yung pwedeng magtanong. Pati yung estudyante, lalo kung hindi nila naintindihan ang isang bagay. It was written here, classroom presentation. Assessment which requires the students to verbalize knowledge to present summary of learning. Of course, yung question na, what have you learned? Na laging tinatanong. Number 6 is reflective strategy. Self-assessment. Process of gathering information reflecting on one's own learning. And of course, response journal. It provides reflective responses to a material that a student is reading, viewing, listening, or discussing. It is more on dun sa mga bata na tinuruan mo. Kumbaga, parang sa private, meron kami, kasi last time, ang aming system is alternate online and face-to-face. So kami, nakikita din ng parents kasi yung ibang bata may katabing parents pag nag-online class. Meron kaming paper sa private kung kami ba ay effective teacher para sa mga bata. Kasi response journal nga, reflective response nila sa aming mismong nagtuturo. Of course, is number 7, combination strategy is the portfolio. It is a collective examples of students' work that is selective, reflective, and collaborative, which can help us in the final decision. And then we have 2 ways of curriculum evaluation, which is first, the school-based evaluation. Approaches to curriculum evaluation which place the content, design, operation, and maintenance of the evaluation in the hands of school personnel. It is participative evaluation for school personnel which participates in the conduct of school evaluation activities. Of course, it is the control and management of the process rest of the school personnel themselves. Second is the accreditation. It is a voluntary process of submitting a curriculum program to an external accrediting body for review in every level of education. Studies the statements of educational intentions of the school and affirm to the standards of excellence. Itong accreditation, more likely na nangyayari po sa private school. Lagi nag-apply for accreditation or naman yung iba, yung bagong school pa lang, they see to it yung morals at saka yung mission vision ng school, kung pasok ba or naka-align ba sa educational system na meron tayo ngayon. Now, areas to be accredited under curriculum and instruction are this. Now, we have here curriculum and program of the studies, which are kung ano bang program ang susundin natin. Classroom management, instructional processes or methodologies, graduation requirements, which is very relevant right now kasi mag-graduation na, administrative support for effective instruction, evaluation of academic performance of the students, and now factors that influence the delivery of curriculum. There are, according to Ann Landers, there are only really 3 types of people: those who make things happen, who watch things happen, and those who says what happened. Now, communication. Okay, of course, number 1 dyan ay ang communication. Kasi wala namang mangyayari kung walang communication. Sabi nga nila, communication is the key of all the things naman na talaga nangyayari, because we cannot understand everything if we don't communicate with one another. Di ba po? Parang katulad sa may mga asawa na, di ba? Hindi naman magsasucess ang isang relationship kung hindi kayo nagko-communicate po. Di ba po, meron dito malamang may asawa na po. And then, of course, dito sa ating pag-aaral at sa educational system, kailangan din yan. Kasi nga naman, kumbaga parang thesis defense, kailangan mo makipag-communicate sa iyong advisor and sa iyong advisor and of course the panel, para naman malaman natin kung effective ba or worth it ba tong research na to o yung study na to. We can we have different communications, with our written can be form of letter, memo, or reports, verbal, telephone, conversation, meetings, and seminar workshop for the public are incepts. Now, we have here motivation. A Middle, Mace, and Hill define motivation as a forces acting on and coming from within a person that account in part for willful direction of one's effort toward the achievement of specific goals. O specific goals na globally competitive daw, yan daw po parang goal. Implementation of the curriculum, we have here first, of course, the technology plays in a crucial and delivering instruction to learners. And number 2, technology offers various tools of learning in this range non-projected and projected media from which the teacher can choose depending on what he sees fit with intended instructional setting. Of course, ito yan, yung dalawa natin. Non-projected media are the real objects, models, field trip kits. Kumbaga, ito yung mga first-hand experiences natin, yung non-projected media. Of course, itong projected media, ito na yung mga more on technology na nagagamit natin ngayon. Kasi dati ganito talaga tayo po nung projected media, visual boards, chalkboard, white flannel board, at saka yung mga instructional material na ginagamit natin na reusable. Ngayon naman, we have this na very rampant, very progressive na talaga ang ating curriculum development. And of course, we have the roles of technology. Of course, number 1, upgrading the quality of teaching and learning in schools, because we have projected media. We have here computers and other things na ginagamit natin na dati ang nakakaalam lang ay mga teachers or ang mga nandun na sa field of work, nasa field staff. Number 2, it increases the capability of the teacher to effectively inoculate learning and for students to gain mastery of lessons and courses. of course, we have to do that to increase the knowledge of every learners. Next is number 3, broadening the delivery of education outside the school through non-traditional approaches to the formal as informal learning, such as open universities and lifelong learning to adult learners. Itong open universities, if I'm not mistaken, UP or PUP are offering na yung mga ganyan, yung mga kahit nasa bahay ka lang nakakapag-aral ka. Kasi nga naman, especially dun sa mga underprivileged na hindi nakapag-aral during those mga time nila, meron na tayong open universities na ginagamit. Lalo, alam ko sa UP, meron na po ata niyan. Of course, number 4, revolutionizing the use of technology to boost education paradigm shifts that gives importance to student-centered and holistic learning. Kasi minsan makikita natin mas techy pa yung mga bata compared to us, especially kapag nasa high school ka and college. May mga makikita ka doon na may iba pa yung mga, di naman lahat di naman po lahat. May mga oldies, kasi katulad nun, may prop ako na ng first year college, grade 12 pala. Grade 12, naging prof ko yung si sir. Tapos, kinukwento niya sa amin, yung nanay niya daw po kasi, prof sa PLP. Doon sa ibang school din. Sinasabi niya na yung mommy niya, hindi daw masyadong techy. So, more on traditional learning siya. Now, we have here, kaya dapat tinuturuan lang, hindi lang dapat bata yung matuto, kundi yung pati yung mga oldies and all the people who are experienced na, kung yung mga bata experience with technology, experienced people na sila with technology, we have to help the experienced teachers to experience and to learn about the technology we have para naman ma-share natin yung knowledge nila since back then sila ang nag-share ng knowledge sa atin. Kumbaga, give and take now. Wait lang po.
Okay, are you still listening? Please raise your hand. So give me a heart react. Sino po yung mga nakikinig pa dyan? Heart react nga, tingnan natin kung sino yung mga nakatutok. Yung matagal mag-heart react dyan, talagang naka-online lang. Gusto nung mag-online. Medyo mahaba pa ba, Ma'am Rona?
Ito na po, stakeholders na po.
Last na po yan, last slide.
Apo.
Okay, go ma'am. Kasi lalagpas tayo doon sa oras. Sige, go po.
Apo. Nakita ko din. Now, roles of stakeholders in curriculum implementation. Ano ba nga ang ating mga roles? Ay, hindi ko pala. Sorry. Hindi ko pala na-press. Ayan, roles of stakeholders in curriculum implementation. Now, stakeholders are the individual or institutions that are interested in the school curriculum. Their interests vary in degree and complexity. Now, they get involved in many different ways in the implementation because the curriculum affects them directly or indirectly. Now, these are learners at the center of the curriculum. They are placed at the center. Of course, center kasi sila naman yung tinuturuan natin eh. Hindi naman po tayo yung pinaka-center niya. Now, primary stakeholders in the curriculum, they are the very reason of curriculum, why is it developed, and they are the ones who are directly influenced by this curriculum. They make and unmake the curriculum by their active and indirect involvement kahit na hindi sila yung gumagawa ng curriculum. But still, they are the center because they are the ones who will receive the intended learning outcomes of the curriculum itself. Now, number 2, teachers as curriculum developers and implementers. Of course, they are the one who plans and writes the curriculum are the primary roles of the teacher. Of course, yung mga higher ups na natin po iyan. A teacher is a curriculum maker. A teacher writes curriculum daily through a lesson plan, a unit plan, or a yearly plan. For instance, last year, ang ginawa namin instead of lesson planning ng everyday, ang ginawa po namin ay curriculum mapping. Then ngayon, sa amin po, ang ginawa namin yung weekly lesson plan. Back then when parang nung ano pa po ako, nag-OJT, parang DDL po ata ang ginagamit o nung nag-aaral pa ako, sabi, kasi tinanong ko po kung anong ginagamit ko, lesson plan pa ba. Parang daily lesson log na lang po ata back then. Correct me if I'm wrong ha, teachers. I'm open for criticism and
ang ginagamit namin is daily lesson log. So, nandun na po hindi na lang na-specify yung mga activities, pero ano na lang yung mga pages, then pag nagsi-COT lang kami, classroom observation, that's the time lesson plan kami para makita talaga yung flow or your process ng learning.
Okay po. Thank you po. Now, of course, the teacher prepares for the activity. Dito na papasok lahat. Teacher addresses the goals and the interest of learners by creating experiences from where the students can learn. Dito papasok kung anong strategies na meron ka or gusto mong ibigay sa bata para maintindihan nila yung lesson mo. Of course, teachers design, enriches, modifies the curriculum to suit the learner's characteristics. Kasi iba dyan, ayaw talaga nilang makinig. Yung iba naman, nakikinig maya-maya. Yung kasi nga naman, yung attention span ng bata, very little. Because of cell phones. Teachers are empowered to develop their own school curricula, taking into consideration their own expertise in the context of the school and the abilities of the learners. Of course, teachers becomes the architects of school curriculum. Teacher's role shifts from a developer to an implementer. So, dati, gumagawa ka lang, ngayon, i-implement mo na. What is kung ano ngayon, nangyayari ngayon, noon, yung mga nagsimula ng DepEd matatag curriculum, will be implemented na. Sino bang gumawa nun? Of course, tulong-tulungan naman ang bawat isa dyan, di ba? Hindi lang teachers, yung mga congress din siguro, nag-help din sila. Yung may mga pakialam talaga sa education. Okay? Next is, doing implies guiding, facilitating, and directing activities which will be done by the students. Number 3 is the curriculum managers and administration. They supervise the curriculum implementation, select and recruit new teachers, admit students, procedure, equipment, materials needed for effective learning. Managers, yung dito po papasok na yung mga HR po. If I'm not HR, the principal, and all the interviewers to supervise the curriculum and implementation. Of course, they also plan for the improvement of the school facilities and physical plans. And number 4, parents as supporters to the curriculum. Of course, the parents are the best supporters of the school. Their voices are very loud and clear for us to hear. Kumbaga, nakikinig tayo sa sentiments nila. Kung ano ba ang sa tingin nila, ang meron doon sa ating current curriculum. Now, how do parents shape the curriculum and why are they considered as stakeholders? Anyone po? May idea po ba kayo how do the parents shape the curriculum and why are they considered as stakeholders? Anyone? Kahit i-chat nyo na lang po. Kahit through chat po pwede po.
Okay, we need your active participation. How do parents shape the curriculum and why are they considered as stakeholders? So basically, syempre, pag sinabi natin stakeholders, di ba, it's not just only the parents, even the local governments, the barangay, and everything. So how they shape the curriculum and why we need to consider them as part of the stakeholders? Because who wants to share? Ma'am Divina Cagayan, please.
Anyone po? You can chat your answer.
Digna is raising her hand po.
Sige po.
Okay. Parents are considered as one of our stakeholders because, of course, they are part of our system because it's their children who we cater, and they also shape the curriculum in the sense that we all know that the curriculum is the guide for teachers and students for what competencies and skills to be developed in them. Therefore, as parents, education continues at home. So, who guides them at home? It's the parents. So, that's my opinion, sir. Idea, rather.
Thank you very much po. Mayroon pa po kanina nagtaas po. Okay na po, sir. Go po. Okay daw, basahin ko po muna ang sagot dito ni Miss Danica. Parents' involvement extend from the confine of the school to the home. Parents follow up the lesson of their children, provides curriculum, materials, and are not provided in schools. Parents provide permission to the children to participate in various activities outside the campus. Correct. Especially in last part, we need always the parents' consent, lalo kung lalabas. For example, in our school, halimbawa may extra, ang uwian ay 2 p.m. Kung may practice, we have to tell the parents to write a written parent consent in their handbook para kapag nagkaroon ng problem, nag-ask kami po. Meron kumbaga, may panglaban kami, pero ito lang. Kasi minsan may mga parents talaga na very nagsasabi ng insights nila regarding the matters in the school. Lalo yung mga nangyayari sa mga bata nila. According to Sir Leo Dupalco, parents should know what do their children learning at school. Correct. Kailangan malaman din nila. So kasi hindi naman siya, ang pag-aaral naman ay hindi lang teacher as is na nagtuturo. Kasi because, kumbaga, joint communications between the parents and the teachers could also help the student to attain their para ma-holistically develop sila. With Miss Jennifer, sabi niya, Hannah, parents provide resources, monitor their wards, and volunteer in school events. Correct. May mga parents volunteer. Yung mga parents organization, di ba, isa po iyan, na nag-volunteer sila. Next is yung school can't do it alone. Pero, with the help of the parents, the goal will be more possible to achieve. Especially ang goal naman ay ikabubuti ng tama. Correct po, Ma'am Bel. And again, kay Miss Danica Mendoza, parents also serve as role models. Showing your child that you support his or her education assures that you are aware of your child's educational progress, thereby demonstrating how important the process is to you. Ay, correct po. Very, very, I agree with this. Kasi kapag hindi mo nasabi sa bata na importante ang education, ay, gagawin niya lang ang education. Akala mo simple lang, the short term of lamang. Akala, aral lang naman yun eh. Papasa din naman ako ng teacher ko eh, ganun. Pag hindi nila nalaman yung importance niyan, babaliwalain na yan. Lagi na lang mediocrity ang papasok sa mga bata. Am I right? Eh, sabi nga naman ng isa kong professor na si Sir Manicas, ikaw ang gamot ng sakit mo na yan. Kasi ang mediocrity daw mo ay sakit, sabi niya. Which is, called, hawak ko pa rin siya, which is totoo naman. Kasi kahit nung college ako, medyo, okay na yun. Pero, as is na nakilala namin si Sir Maninas, nagbago yung namin, yung tingin namin sa education. Kasi grabe siya kahit na gine-joke-joke ka niya. Ay, hindi. Totoo yun. Marami kang matututunan sa kanya. Kaya kahit na kumbaga tawagin si Sir Maningas na terror.
Sa PNP ka pala, Ma'am Placido, sinong kabatch mo ba?
Sila Bahian po. Ano na po senior po namin. Kami po yung after nila Miss Gamayo.
Hindi mo na ako naabutan, no?
Hindi na po. Sila, ang huli ko po naabutan si Ma'am Encabo nung magre-resign na po siya.
Mag-retire na.
Now, ayun. So, malaking tulong sa amin yun, lalo si Sir Maningas kasi nga naman, talaga namang suring-suri ka, which is happy kahit na terror nga po siya. Alam ko pong alam niya din yan. Sobrang terror niya pero grabe, ang dami mo matututunan. He is loved by many of his students, especially yung mga inokray niya talaga. Akala mo lang siya. Sabi niya kasi depende sa pagtanggap ng tao yung sinasabi mo sa kanya, which is correct. Depende talaga. Kahit hanggang ngayon na nagtuturo po ako, kasi iba-iba naman yung mga nakakasalamuhan natin, depende talaga siya kung paano mo i-accept, kung negative ba yung sinabi niya sa'yo, o gagawin mo siyang positive as will help you to be a better person po. Di ba po?
It is just like in classroom observation, it's how you accept all the suggestions, comments that will help you to become a better educator. So actually, classroom observation, it's not the old times na hahanapan ka ng mali, So that's why yung tinatawag po nating technical assistance, yun po doon na pumapasok kung bakit talaga nagkakaroon ng classroom observation. So, syempre, you as the head teacher or the principal, the school head, kailangan meron ka na itutulong doon sa mga teachers. At teachers naman, sana positive, na tinatanggap yung mga suggestions. It will improve the teaching and learning process as well as how to deliver the curriculum properly. Kasi nag-iiba yung trend nagbabago yung panahon. So nagbabago rin yung approach, nagbabago kung ano yung way natin. Lalo na ngayon, ibang-iba na yung 21st century learners. Hindi na po katulad before. So that's the great challenge on our part, being the educator.
Yes, correct. I agree with that po talaga. Being the bata, the teacher pa. Kahit medyo malapit pa yung age ko sa kanila, iba talaga ang mga bata po ngayon.
Okay, maganda po yung sinabi ni Ma'am Lyra that parent engagement in the curriculum may help in monitoring and evaluating the implementation by keeping a close check at the lesson learned in the school and monitoring child's homework. So, in a short description, malaki yung part na ginagampanan talaga din ng magulang. Kasi mas maraming panahon naman talaga yung magulang nakasama yung bata. Tayo naman, hindi naman. Kaya sana hindi lahat ng ibiniblame lagi doon sa school. So tayo bilang magulang, hindi natatapos sa pinapasok natin pag-uwi. Hindi man natin kinakamusta kung may natutuhan ba, may assignment ba. So actually, bilang magulang siguro yung challenge din. Dapat meron din na yung time for them. Checking how they learned, kamusta na sila in their study.
Yes, correct.
Okay, thank you so much, ma'am. Meron pa po tayong addition, ma'am Placido?
Wala naman na po. Nabanggit na din po yung nasa presentation. So, thank you very much po.
With that, thank you so much for that very comprehensive discussion. Ma'am Rona, though mag-isa lang si Ma'am Rona, inilaban talaga niya kasi nagkaroon tayo ng problema with Team Makati. But sabi ko nga kay Ma'am Rona, kapag diniscuss naman natin yung isang topic, actually, lagi ko mong sinasabi lahat naman ng paki-open po yung camera, magka-closing na po tayo. So, lahat naman po ng mga pinag-uusapan natin dito, makikita na po natin sa internet, mababasa na po natin sa book. Pero ang pinakamahalaga kasi ito yung brainstorming po natin, yung sharing of our experiences and our application, kung paano natin siya na-apply in a real life situation. Parang sa LET yan di ba? Sa LET naman, hindi naman ang what is curriculum, di ba? Okay. Merong scenario, tapos kung anong pinapakita doon, anong type of curriculum ba yun, yung pinakikita ni teacher. So, ganun din tayo dito. Parang na lang yan kumbaga, guide na lang po natin yung nasa PowerPoint. Sana, since binigay ko na yung drive, di ba yung old drive, binigay ko na sa inyo yung mga dating report. Sana hindi natatapos doon lang sa PowerPoint na yun. Sana, kapag nakuha nyo yung PowerPoint na yun, enhance ninyo, dagdagan ninyo, mag-search kayo, paano ba siya nangyayari in a real life situation? Yun ang pag-usapan na natin. Nagiging guide lang natin yan. So sana teachers, Tulad kanina, may mga na-share na experiences, what is curriculum and everything. Sa mga susunod po nating mga classes, I'm expecting that everyone will actively participate. Hindi lang po, though napakabait ko naman, di ba, naka-off na nga yung camera eh. In reality talaga, hindi dapat po naka-off yung camera. Entire po yan hanggang matapos. Pero binibigyan ko kayo ng chance kung may ginagawa kayong iba, naglalaba ba kayo, may nakikipaglibing dyan, hindi natin alam, may dalang sesto ng mamon, di ba, na ipaglibing. So, hindi ko naman alam kung anong ginagawa ninyo kasi gusto ko nga mapagaan yung buhay ninyo as much as possible. So, sana yung part nyo na lang na narinig nyo yung topic na ganito, meron kayong gustong i-share, pinakikinggan ko yun, iba yung grade ng mga nag-share din ha, kasi doon natin nakikita may pakipo kayo. Though naka-off yung camera, hindi lang yung reporter ang nagsasalita. Pwede kayo mag-share, di ba? Maring nyo, isasabihin ninyo, hindi pala alam ng iba yun. Di ba? O tulad yan, may umami, nakikipaglibing naman talaga siya ngayon, libing daw na tito niya. So, di ba in reality naman talaga, ay meron tayo ibang ginagawa. Kasi nga, actually, ang goal ko rito sa May Kawayan, matulungan kayo na hindi nyo na kailangan mag-travel. Di ba? Napakalaking bagay na yun. Di ba? Hindi na kayo gumagastos, hindi kayo gigising na maaga. Kahit ba sa pang-ibabaw lang yan, kunyari, naka-formal kayo, pero sa baba, baka naka-pek short kayo dyan. Pek short kayo, hindi na natin alam. Di ba? So, napakagaan na ng setup. So, anong gagawin na lang natin, teachers? Mag-participate naman kayo. Baka meron kayong ma-share, malay nyo, yung ma-share ninyo, di ba? Bago pala yun sa kaalaman ng lahat, di ba? In reality, gano'n naman talaga yun. Tama. Condolences nga pala, nakalimutan ko sabihin. Condolences po kay Ma'am Rona. So, yun. So, sana mag-share po kayo ng mga experiences ninyo. Okay? So, next meeting, so, kakausapin ko yung dalawa natin na nagkaroon po kasi kami ng problema doon sa dalawang kasama din ni Ma'am Rona. So, lumalabas, Ma'am Rona, ilan lang kayo sa Team Makati? Ikaw lang admin and supervision?
Parang 3 po. Kaya lang hindi ko sure si Ma'am, ano po ba? Wait lang po. Check ko lang po yung names.
O, kasi si Ma'am, actually, ito yung list ko, Ano na kayo 140 plus na kayo kasama yung mga thesis seminar. Si Ma'am, si Ma'am Roby, tsaka si Ma'am Garcia, mag-uusap na
Yun po.
O, si Ma'am Marie Cris yun, tsaka si Ma'am Roby. Usap na lang po kami para next meeting, kasi allotted pa rin for Team Makati yung schedule. Tama po ba? So, after Team Makati, what's next? Anong team yun? Yung sa EDUM 206. Kasi dalawang meetings, di ba, per team?
Opo.
Sino po yung susunod na team after po ng Team Makati? Ayan, Team Taguig. So, Ma'am Jennifer, ilan po kayo? Sino pong leader po ninyo? So, ganito po ang peg natin So, ayan si Ma'am MJ. O nga pala, masipag yan si Ma'am MJ. Nga pala, Team Taguig. So, ang gagawin po natin, kasi wala si Ma'am MJ kasi PE major sila. Mamaya pa sila kasama doon sa 3:30. So, just to explain, mamaya explain ko rin, nagkaroon kasi ng adjustment doon sa Team Makati kasi meron silang mga activities. Supposedly, ang EDUC 204 po talaga natin, 205, as originally scheduled, after ng EDUM 206 sa umaga sana. So, only for this day, mag-a-adjust tayo. 3:30 po tayo mamaya. Mag-meet tayo ulit for EDUC 204. Excuse me, 205. So, cognates po yun. Okay? So, dito sa EDUM 206, kung marami kayo, pwede yung hatiin yung iba sa first Saturday, iba sa second Saturday, ganon. Okay? Sa EDUC 204, 205 naman, make sure po na meron po kayong na-report kahit sobrang iksi lang yan, meron kayong report sa EDUC 204, may ganap kayo doon, meron kayo sa EDUC 205 kasi natatandaan ko po yun, ino-note ko po yun dito. Okay? I hope that's clear. Huwag kayong mag-alala kasi May, June. July nga tapos na naman yung SEM kasi 3 months lang siguro yung kakainin natin, di ba? Maya-maya tapos na kayo ng MA, ilaban nyo na ng ilaban, utang na loob, sayang naman yung chance. So, this coming May 15, meron tayong mga mid-year bonus, meron po yung iba po kasi magbabayad na sila ng balance kasi madali lang po matapos ngayon yung SEM, third trimester, kasi magfo-focus din kami sa final defense. Maraming final defense ngayon June and July. So, kung may mga chance na hindi po ako nagsasalita, hindi naka-open yung cam ko, nag-check ako ng thesis. Pero, nakikinig po ako kung kayo ay nagpa-participate. Tulad niyan, si Ma'am Rona, alam ko kung nag-report na siya. Natatandaan ko na yun. Alam ko po yung grades na bibigay ko po sa inyo. Okay? So, binigay ko na yung PowerPoint. Sana enhance ninyo. Maghanap pa kayo. Pwede nyo idagdag doon. Pwede naman, basta interactive po yung ating reporting. Pwede kayo magbigay ng activities na maiksi, pwedeng ganun. Basta choice nyo naman po yun. Pero sana wag po nating patagalin. 1.5 hour lang talaga yung allotted natin for online class. Tapos, allotted na for activity sheets. Lahat po ba nakapagpasa ng activity sheets? Yun unang activity sheet number 1. O make sure nagpapasa po kayo kasi nandun po yun sa drive ng exclusive for leaders. Nakikita ko kung sino po yung mga ihabol lang po. Okay na po yung kay Ma'am Bel kasi nalito ko kay Ma'am Bel. Akala ko kasi pang 4th sem na siya katulad kay Ma'am Danica. Akala ko ano na siya, research stat, kaya inad ko. So, good thing naman kasi kasama pa rin natin sila, masaya. Kasi sa research sa stat, si Dean Daes na yon. So, thesis seminar, ako na lang. Hindi na siya ganitong laging regular classes. Checking of outputs na lang yun kasi yun sa chapter na po yun ng thesis. Okay? So, with that, thank you so much. Pa-open po ng camera for our group picture. Last group picture po natin. Pa-open po. Yung mga naglalaba po dyan, pa-open po muna. Yung mga naipaglibing, sige po, mamaya na po ulit pagpatuloy. Ready? Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. Ayan, taray naman Veronica, plakado yung mukha, title, ayan. So, ganito teachers kung meron po kayong mga kilala na gusto po pong humabol, tama-tama kasi may mid-year bonus tayo ngayon, pwede mag-down ng 5,000. Pwede natin silang ihabol. Okay? Teachers, kung bakit pa ulit-ulit ko sinasabi sa GC, kasi mas marami po tayo, mas tuloy po itong online class. Though, naglalaban ko naman hanggang matapos kayo, online class lang to. Kasi hinihingi naman to yung permit sa CHED. Pero mas marami kasi tayo, mas lalo tayong makikilala. At least yung school na pinag-aaralan ninyo, nakita meron talaga tayong mga classes, may ganap tayo, everything. Kaya po, kinakailangan nyo talagang i-my day tsaka status kasi it will encourage others po na baka gusto pang humabol, di ba? Pag meron kayong kilala na gustong humabol, ibigay nyo sa akin yung FB account para makausap ko. Pag nakausap ko yan, mapapa-oo ko yan. Okay? Para marami tayo, mas masaya, mas magaan. Ha? So, thank you so much. Lalo na po yung mga tumutulong. Meron na po yung iba sa inyo na nagre-refer talaga at nag-encourage sa iba na mag-join sa atin. Kasi hanggang May 30 po tayo pwedeng maghabol ng estudyante. Pero mas maraming talagang mag-enroll pa yung mga late enrollers ngayong May 15 onwards. Okay? So, thank you so much everyone. See you all later. Huwag kayong mawawala mamaya. 3:30 mamaya sa Edukto 4205. Okay, thank you so much everyone at pwede na tayong mag-lunch. Thank you so much. Keep in touch po sa
Thank you po.
Thank you po.
Thanks po.
Thank you, Doc.